last year, up until now, near zero NDC adoption and NDC penetration, but that's starting to ramp up, and we think that that will be in double digits. Maybe this year, maybe the next year, but that will be order of magnitude, right? IATA has gone on record to say that 10% of travel agency sales are already NDC. Not a small number, that's 400 million seats sold last year. BCG and IATA put together a report. They think nearly half of airlines are actually looking to extract value from their NDC programs, potentially this year or next year, right? And our own view, based on all of the customers that we work with, is that north of 500 million seats will be distributed through some form of NDC-assisted technology in the next couple of years. We also know that it's not going to go away and that it's not purely a cost play for airlines. McKinsey has calculated that there's a $15 billion value creation opportunity for airlines from adopting NDC. Only a third of that is actually driven by cost savings. So a lot of us presume that airlines are on this path to optimize distribution costs. Actually, 2/3 of their hypothesis comes from revenue, mainly ancillary revenue. And ancillary revenue crossed $100 billion last year. These aren't small numbers, and that's why we know that it's here to stay. It's also messy. It's an incredibly complex ecosystem. We've got airlines, all sorts of airlines based in different parts of the world that have different objectives that they're trying to achieve through their NDC programs. We have airlines that are very committed to NDC to the point of driving content differentiation and rewarding financially behaviors that drive adoption. We have airlines that are waiting and watching, and they're sort of, they see an option value to being in the game. We have airlines that haven't even started thinking about it or are vehemently opposed to the whole idea altogether. At the other end, we have sellers or travel agencies that have very, very different requirements. TMCs have different needs to OTAs. OTAs have different needs to consolidators, right? And in the middle is a small number of technology specialists, some very large, established incumbents, and some challengers like us that are trying to make sense of this space and make technology more approachable, accessible, and adoptable for people in the ecosystem. But irrespective of where you are in this value chain, there are some significant investment and prioritization decisions that lie ahead of us. Those decisions are further complicated by the fact that there have been, that the birth of NDC has been quite challenged. There's been a lot of friction along the way, and there are significant barriers to adoption that remain. The first is that the business case is unclear, right? The business case, it's easy for us to say that if we were to move to a lower cost distribution platform, there would be synergies, but the trade-off is reach. We've got well-established GDSs that service this ecosystem, that do it at industrial scale. We may envy them their profit margins, but the reality of the situation is that they have got the billions of transactions flowing through those networks, those systems, and that gives them a very low unit cost. For NDC to compete with those unit costs, forget the price that providers are able to charge for it. But for NDC to compete at those unit costs, perhaps because we have new generation technology that's powering us, perhaps the threshold's not the billions of transactions, but it's definitely in the hundreds of millions of transactions. So the business case is unclear, right? How much money do you deploy at what stage in your journey, especially because technology becomes obsolete very quickly and the maintenance requirements are high. For example, we're supposed to be on the 21.3 version of NDC right now. 21.3 gets its name from the third quarter of 2021. We're actually in the first quarter of 2023, so it's almost like NDC 21.3 should be called 23.1 because of all of the challenges that we've had along the way. I can see some very distinguished guests in the audience today. The second learning or challenge that we've discovered as we embark on this journey is that standards exist only in theory, and that in the real world, NDC means different things to different people. How they deploy it across the value chain varies significantly, and aggregating, normalizing, orchestrating, organizing, whatever it is that you want to call it, is an incredibly complex, engineering intensive task, and not everyone's cup of tea. Also, what NDC permits today and permits at scale today is relatively simple transactions. So prime booking works perfectly well, but there are a lot of complex scenarios, particularly around servicing, that have yet to achieve the usability and the functionality that exists in alternative forms of distribution. The third insight that we've had, or challenge that we're seeing, is what we know for a fact is that content differentiation drives adoption. When airlines are committed to differential content, the rest of the ecosystem starts to align themselves with that agenda. In the absence of content differentiation, it's just an expensive project, right? And the commitment to content differentiation in the airline ecosystem varies considerably, right? The IATA leaderboard airlines are obviously further along that path. We've got GDS surcharges. You've got, certain branded fares that are available only on the NDC platform. But equally, we've got a large number of airlines that are quite far from committing to content differentiation, and therefore quite far from helping justify any business case for any travel agency to embark on a change program. But the future is bright because we believe that we're at an inflection point in the industry where we're starting to see momentum build and momentum shift as well. And to talk about the opportunities, I'd like to bring on the guy, the second most knowledgeable guy on NDC on this planet. The first isn't me. He's actually our CTO and co-founder. I'm looking for him in the room, but he's not here. But the second most knowledgeable guy on NDC is George.
Thanks, Rakshit, for those kind words. I am flattered. But on that high note, let me tell you, there is a bright future for the travel agencies to adopt NDC. There's been a lot of challenges that the travel agencies have gone through in the past, primarily hearing about NDC, the change that's going to be coming forward. But we want to put everybody at ease, saying that yes, the only constant is change. So as a travel agent, what is that a travel agent would get out of NDC? It's primarily differential content. So when we talk about differential content, what are we primarily talking about? It's not just about having an anti-fact surcharge. No. Long are those days gone. Now we're talking about continuous pricing by the airline. If an agency has to have access to continued pricing, you need to start evolving to the latest technology of NDC. Also, with NDC solution, what we provide is effectiveness and productivity. These are terms that go hand in hand. So, what is efficiency? And efficiency is a better way of servicing to your customer. Efficiency is about giving your customers what they would require. So let's say, for example, for an airline who wants to give a special offer to our customers. In the 40-year-old technology, it was highly unlikely, but with change in technology, it is possible that a travel agent can have access to these differential content and also to have a better productivity for yourself. In terms of productivity, what we also need to look at is it's not just about the fare, but it's all about the bundling. It's all about